Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Michael Allen is my name. I'm President and CEO of the United Way of East Ontario. First, I'd like to thank the Sprott School of Business for bringing a panel together to discuss the implications of COVID-19 moving forward. Specifically, I've been invited by Professor Tessa Hebb to speak about the role that social procurement and social enterprise and community benefit agreements might play in the context of this recovery. This is an area that actually is not something that the United Way exercises directly, but we have been involved as a champion, as an advocate, as a supporter of this kind of work. And indeed, we have a new example to put into the equation that I hope will at least incite some reflection of the opportunities that are presented. As many will have observed, the COVID-19 crisis has and will continue to have significant impacts on our community, and not only presently, but as we move into the future. Implications for the community sector, I have witnessed over the past 2-3 months to be absolutely remarkable. The resilience, innovation, entrepreneurship of the community sector in committing to their promise to deliver to vulnerable populations has been evident. Precarious employment populations, people who are homeless, at-risk youth, both in rural and urban contexts, are all examples of where the community sector has come together with the corporate community, with governments, to provide an ongoing support of delivery of those services that are vital to their participation. But there's an opportunity as we move from the crisis response into recovery to think about how we can reframe and re-engineer our communities and indeed how we serve those vulnerable populations. Will we be faced with a decision between choosing between supporting vulnerable populations and the economic recovery? Historically, that has often been a situation where those interests have been pitted against one another. But there is an opportunity moving forward to recognize that we can and should do both. Social procurement, social enterprise, social finance provides an opportunity to integrate those interests. But we require a roadmap and a commitment to move forward with those interests held at the same time. So a small example was born in the context of the City of Ottawa looking to United Way to provide supports to those who are most vulnerable and not able to provide themselves with the protection of face masks. One of the things that the United Way proposed to the City of Ottawa, and they wholeheartedly embraced it, is an opportunity in the course of their normal procurement of what will be hundreds of thousands of face protections for their clients, for their employees. And so we proposed to them that in the context of that purchase, that they would support that purchase through the United Way with a portion of those proceeds directed to providing masks to the most vulnerable. And that's what we have done. And what was born was an initiative called Facing Forward. So the question that this poses for us is, are there greater opportunities for the City of Ottawa and indeed other organizations, particularly supported by government, to build in these community benefits into their procurement, into their social finance, into their business models, as opposed to a model where those are perceived as impediments or challenges to be overcome? We believe that, for example, the City of Ottawa could embrace and fully implement a social procurement policy. Likewise, the National Capital Commission, for example, in the context of their work to activate LeBreton Flats, could embrace a policy around social procurement and a community benefit agreement. Those are the challenges that we believe are ahead of us, where we can both integrate the economic recovery as well as the social needs that have been laid bare during the course of this crisis, and that no part of our population need be left behind.